And good evening, everybody. This is Michael Filigera. I'm with logicalsignals.com and tradershelpingtraders.com. And this is the Elliott Wave update for the NASDAQ 100 for Tuesday, June 15th, 2021. First thing you're going to notice is that I've taken off all the labeling from the bottom of the minute fourth wave for this minute fifth wave that we are still in. And the reason I did that is because I want to kind of walk through the two possibilities that I see for this current sequence. And the reason that I took all of it, the labeling off, was the fact that this decline plowed through the 50-day moving average and turned everything fairly negative. Even with the bounce off of the lows into the close. And so that just took me back, as I mentioned in previous updates, that should that occur, then I have to take a step back, take a relook at this and the position of the market and against everything that's kind of going on and what I'm seeing. So here I am. Right previously, I had been labeling this as a subminute wave 1, wave 2, and then this would have likely been part of wave 3, and it would have been the completion, or maybe 3 of 3, which means this would have been a 4. And this, although it did not break what I would label as the top of wave 1, I think for fourth wave, it's really gone too far in terms of what I was expecting after. So that would have to be that this was A, B, and this is the C wave. Now that could 100% be possible. So, but I need now a little bit more from the market in terms of what the intent is and what am I going to make out of all of this. So that's why I've taken it off, because if anything, I may have to present a very, very bullish picture, put a that sub-minute wave 1 here, and that this is sub-minute wave 2 within that beginning minute fifth wave. So this only completed the first leg, and this would then be completing the second leg, but it basically needs to kind of hold. But if the labeling is such, then we would do a quick, I'll just show you so that we can determine, well, what is the potential for a second wave. Come on, thank you. It'll be to come down to 13,888 in that area, but certainly 13,000. I would come down close to the 200-day moving average, and that would just be a normal wave 2, which the first most common Fibonacci is a 0.382 retracement of that first wave, and that would be right there. And then it could actually come all the way down to 13,806 and still blast higher. Stranger things have happened, and again, as I continually preach, and that's really what it turns into, that we have to allow the market to tell us what it's doing and what the path is going to be. And ultimately, it is the market that is revealing what's up. So being flexible with how I want to label it is very important, because I cannot tell the market, oh, well, my Elliott count says you have to stop here and you can't go there. It's like, no, your Elliott count would have to be not drastically changed, but have to include additional possibilities. So I'm not drastically changing the fact that the market's rallying. I'm adding an additional layer as to, well, here's one possibility that would show that this could possibly just have completed wave 1 of this final 5 up. And that would be pretty big, but again, stranger things have happened. Now, that's not going to be my preferred, but we may have to allow it. Otherwise, I am going to stick to a 1, 2, a 3, a 4, and we're in that fifth, and this is 1, 2, 3, and this is a 4, and it can't come below that. Now, if that's the case, then I need to run, so let me take those off, and here's the bottom of wave 2, and so the start of the third wave, and let me now put it from there to there, and let's see. So I'm going over all the possibilities. You're going to see how I function here. In this case, the market has already come down to 0.382. And in all reality, still can go down to 50%, which got close at 13,986.5. This is where it can't go below 13,964. So it can't go to the 618 and still be held within this count. Now, that I had is where I am right now, but I've left it blank so that we can clearly see what are the possibilities are. I actually, because of the further count, and bear with me while I just go up here a little bit so that we can see it, you know, to change this and to, this would still be the shortest wave, and then it would fit even if wave 5 extends dramatically, but it can't be that disproportionate to wave 3. And right now it's pushing its limit as to the size. So that keeps me in line with how I've already been counting it, in that that's the 4, and that it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're in this fifth still, and within that, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what does that tell us? That we are very close. So I have put in a few, or a channel that should help guide us now that we're kind of getting in, and I could probably put another channel from here to here and there to there. And I may do that because now I want to just find where it starts to break, and that's going to give us better clues about this could be all over, because that's the other side of that coin, that this can be counted as a 5 from that level. And that would suggest it's an all-time new high, 14,155.25. So it's fulfilled all of the requirements. So if the market just starts to fall apart from here and we start to break down, then we start breaking levels that it can't, then maybe this is complete. So again, we're going to let the market tell us, which is why I'm leaving this blank. But my preferred is still that this ended 3, and this is going to end at 4, and we're going to rally one more time, and likely right to that 14,200 level. We do have fibs there, so we're going to see. We're going to see, and I could go back to a different, but using extensions, and that would be going there, to there, to there, and then pulling it open a little bit. So where wave 5 would be equal to wave 3, which would be very fitting, is only 14,253.25. We saw how fast it could get up there to 14,155. So put on another 100 and or close to 200 points. I don't think it's going to be a problem for the NASDAQ. And for it to do it by the end of the month or even by Friday, sure, it could. All things are possible. So I'm going to stick to what I've been running as my preferred. So we're going to allow that to stay as a blank slate right now. until we get the market to tell us exactly where we're going and how it's going to happen. But if this is going to be 3, this is going to be 4. We have to continue to allow for a little bit additional pullback. But that's what we said, I think 13,988. Basically 14,000 held by the skin of its chinny chin chin, the hair on its chinny chin chin, excuse me. So it's been a long day. And now we have to allow for it to go to 13,888 or 13,890. And remember that level, 13,965. Don't break below that, because then it's not a 4. Then it's something else. And then we have to go to an additional count that I have just laid out, the possibilities that, well, maybe it's all over. Or that's only 1 and this is going to be a 2. And this thing is going way up there. So again, we cannot discount these and throw them out and say not going to ever happen. If this ends up being the first wave and this ends up being a wave 2 and this thing just shoots for the moon, it's going to become a reality. But that's a scenario. We don't have any evidence yet that that's the plan. But we can be ready and not surprised should it occur. Right now, I'm thinking additional upside, sure. But I think that I'm going to keep it on the count that I have, and then I'm going to be looking for 14,253, 50, 55, 60, up in that area. And that is where I believe it'll all come to an end. But once again, should it get up there, we're going to have to let the market tell us that's the end point. And that would be pretty much like this, where the market goes, yep, that's it. Good night, nurse. Boom, and down she comes. So for tomorrow, additional downside should be held above 13,960 and 65. Yeah, 13,965 should be held above. That's not saying it can't go below it. It just means it's something different than what we're presenting, should that occur. But it should be held. If it does, then the market begins to turn higher. We'll be looking for these resistance zones now to be broken again as it continues to move up and eventually to new highs and on up towards this target. So that's where I'm going to leave it. Again, I stress, we have to trade what's in front of us. That's vitally important, because I can't stop during the day when the market is doing what it wants to do to go, oh, that's breaking everything that I was thinking it should do. That means just put that aside, continue to trade what's in front of you and use your moving averages and some internal Fibonacci's to play where it's going to go. But more importantly, to trade and make the money. So I'm going to wish everybody have a really great trading day tomorrow. And the next update will be the 16th.